Hey guys, so we're going to pick up where we left off last week, and we're going to continue sheeting up over the wheel wells to the back of the car. Now, we're going to have some different obstacles on this one for sure, because we have to match the curve of this car on the panels. So, let's just get to it and start plugging away. So I've looked at all the pieces and how they're going to have to lay, and my first things I have to do are these side pieces here under the rear window. Now, a couple things I've noticed. One, I need to grind a few wells a little lower so these panels are actually set flat. All these little rises are causing the panels to wrinkle, so I got to go over them with the grinder, go ahead and smooth those out nice and clean. The ones on the edges where I welded a 90-degree together, those have to be hit with the actual grinding wheel so I can cut into them to make the panel lay flat. So first things first, let's grind some of these welds, then we can go ahead and start making the pieces. Now the next piece is this piece, and now it needs to overlap here, go under this piece, edge up here. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on this one. So we have to take our time and work through this piece. It's just a rectangle, but all the extra flanges on it need to go over, under, yeah. So it's gonna take some time. You might have noticed this time, instead of taking and using self-tappers to hold the panel in place, I use clecos. Now, I'll do a close-up here and I'll show you how this actually works, but it's a great way to temporarily hold a piece of sheet metal in place while you're working with it. Now, how this guy works is the tool pinches here and pushes the plunger forward. Now, when that happens, you'll notice that these two arms come out. Now they have a little ledge to them here. So what they're doing is going to grab the other piece of sheet metal. When you release or spring load it, they're just going to pull it back into place. So here's my template for my rivets. I'm going to squeeze it. It's in the hole. Release it. And it's going to pinch and hold in place. To remove it, you're just going to click it, pull it out, and you're done. Now these are really great when you're taking and working with sheet metal and you've got multiple pieces and you're trying to seam them together and things like that. You can simply pinch this in place, lay it out, mark it where you need it, pinch it, remove it, trim it, put it back in place. So it's just a temporary holder. So if you're taking and having to do a lot of adjustments, it's going to help you out. Now, I bought this bag a few years ago. It has like 20 of them in it. And I think I paid, with the tool and all, I think I paid like 50 bucks. So they're not overly priced. I know you can find some cheap ones out there, but just make sure they've got a good review and they're okay. You don't want to buy cheap ones that don't hold. So, all right, back to it. to get this shape right here. Now this goes from the wheel well all the way around to the back window, and the body line comes in right here. So what I did was I used my framing as a measuring point, and different spots along the framing I measured out to the edge of the car. I transferred those to the poster board. I got a bunch of dots on it. I sketched the arch to it, and I went ahead and trimmed it a little wide. So that way when I got in the car, I could sit there with the scissors and trim it down until I got that perfect fit. Let's go ahead and make it in steel. So now that that piece is in around the curve, the problem is there's a spot where the window is stepped out, okay? And now that the sheet's in there, there's this hole where it goes down behind it. So I want to make a little piece that matches the curve, but 90's up to keep things from going down in the body. I'll never have anything up there, but it just bugs me. Sometimes like this, you can take a template from the other side, flip it over and put it on this side, and it actually matches. So save yourself a lot of time. Don't destroy your templates until you do both sides. Alright, now I need to work on that actual access door that I put in. Now remember, it doesn't hinge just from one end, it hinges about 60% down. So some of the door goes in, some of the door comes out. So I'm going to make a few panels, see if I can come up with a way that works for me, that I like, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so I took those panels and I actually put it on the hatch and I got it to move and the way it needed to overlap and things like that. But I'm not happy with it. I don't like the way it looks. Luckily they're just temporarily on because I'm yanking them all off. I'm thinking one big piece of sheet metal on there would actually look a lot better than 3 pieces. So I don't have enough sheet metal to do it. I'll pick some up this week and then we can make one big panel on there. I think it'll look way better. So now the other issue, if you notice I stopped riveting everything, I've got 600 rivets here that are junk. Every time I tightened down on them, they would snap half shaft. They never pull the rivet all the way through. Not a big deal. I ordered 1,000 of the rivets I actually use. They're just not in yet. So when those come in, I can rivet everything out. Until then, it can just sit pinned.
So, well, anyway, that's all we got this week. Now I've got a question for you guys. Okay, I'll take a closer shot so you can see how I've laid out this poster board for a curved dash. I'm really torn between a curved dash and a straight dash, just kind of a flat, straight, or sharp angles. The car's full of sharp angles, but I don't know what style dash. I can't decide. So I want your guys' input. You guys tell me what you think, if I should go around it or more squared off. Okay? Alright guys, well, do me a favor, like and subscribe. I'll see you next week.